got another master that
is over.
he's not even in the area.
Yeah.
Signing for this journeyman, not right.
No.
You know what I mean?
They call me, if they call my company or your company, they can talk to us if there's an issue.
Oh, for sure.
This is a production of OSUN Media.
We got one of the best electricians around, especially in the Keller area. What's up, Dennis?
Not much. Just here hanging out with you.
Tell us the name of your company.
Dennis Stiles, Master Electrician and Company. But if you just want to shorten that, it's DS MECO.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what area do you service mostly?
Well, Keller, as you say, but I do 50 miles north, south, east, or west. I don't really restrict myself to.
Yeah, but everybody's got that.
And your house, too.
And my house, yeah. Hey, didn't work that much.
So,
So, how'd you get into electrician work?
I had no choice. My dad was a electrician. He had his own company, and I just working with my dad. That's how I got in.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
So
Still
what's your favorite thing about it?
That it's not prejudiced. It can shock anybody.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite project to work on? Like if I called you and asked you to come do X, Y, Z at my house, what would that be? What would you?
We kind of got a niche for generators.
Okay.
Whole house generators. I've done big ones as well for 750 kilowatts for stores and stuff when I was back in the commercial side, but I like that. But anything electrical really is.
Those were big after 2020 or 21, whatever, to freeze the thing that made all service people rich.
Mm-hmm.
and invited the PEs to this area.
Yeah. Done some with you as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like generators. So people always get sticker shock by them, is my deal. And I didn't know it was going to cost so much. It's a big project. It ain't just.
Yeah, it's not just a little turn a couple screws and stuff.
I got to run gas from a lot of gas, not just a little gas, a lot of gas.
A lot of gas.
From your meter generally all the way to it.
Yeah.
And so that's what, on the plumbing side, most people don't get shocked about. They're like, I thought you was just going to hook it up, and I thought you could hook up off my kitchen range. No, that's not big enough.
Well, and then, doing learning how to service them and stuff, I had to figure out on the plumbing side, I'm not a plumber. Yeah. But you have to take into account elbows and stuff like that, and that equates in that number as well.
Yep.
So,
and the biggest thing is feet. People don't realize that the feet is that they think I got gas here. Why can't I just hook it up to this? And then it goes to a lot of things, and including tankless. People are like, well, it's already got gas there. Well, that's not enough gas. We need more gas.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the big things. So why did you decide that the service side was what you want, or does service what you mostly do, or are you commercial? Or
I do a lot of service. I do commercial as well. When the job comes in, I'll do a commercial job. A lot of residential, shops, add-on, garages, generators, anything. I did a air hanger up in Alliance. Just whatever anybody wants. So,
what are some safety stuff that people can look out for when they don't notice it in their home, but it could be a potential fire danger or shock danger? What's something that a homeowner could be on the lookout for?
A big thing is just go outside and look at your meter, see if your pipe's coming out. It's a big danger. A week or so ago, a lady called me and she said she was missing half her power to her house. Wire had actually pulled out of the lug and was almost about to hit the back of the meter. Luckily, it was old rubber meters. Yeah. So if it would have hit, it would have.
What about those low-lying ones that are still tied to the roof?
Yeah, those are bad as well. Not having a surge protector for your house is pretty bad as well. Yeah. But yeah, those need to be fixed.
So a whole home surge protector, or just like it?
Yeah, the ones I have are lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
they stand behind their products.
Really?
PSP.
So is it kind of like the ones you plug in? They'll warranty you up to so many.
Yeah, this one the warranty's 100,000
Really?
lifetime warranty. So I hadn't found anything that would beat it so far.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was available.
Hey, I'm full of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's why I got you on here, Dave, so we can.
Yeah.
What's your favorite customer?
I don't want to single it down to one customer. I just
Yeah, I know, but what's your favorite type of customer? I guess is
one that kind of knows what they want. Maybe a little bit of education from me, but they kind of know what they want. And
yeah,
kind of have a plan for it. When you kind of start in your midstream, I got to change it, then they're worried about what's the price at the end of the job instead of having it all planned out. So
I think that we like the ones that are educated to they've done their research. They know what they want.
Yeah.
Now it's not always what they need, and it's on us as the licensed professionals to explain to them the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the ones that at least have started instead of just the kind of I kind of want this, and this is what I think I want. And I like the ones that done some research.
Yeah,
What is your? I know you were involved in the Keller work or school trade program.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that and what you.
I actually got approached by the director over there, and he actually found me on Facebook, one of the Facebook groups that I'm always called out in, and he was wondering if I was be open to having one or two of their students. At the time, it was 2 students to see if they could come in and learn the trade. They had been teaching them in class and everything, so I brought 2 guys on. One didn't make it, but the other one stayed with me. He was going to go into aviation, but now he's wanting to follow in his granddad's footsteps, which is to be an electrician. And
so he bought into it.
Yeah. He's stayed with us, and hadn't scared him off yet, so he's enjoying it.
I think that's a good program. We hadn't done a lot with the Keller program, and more schools are doing it. We were approached, and we talked to them, and I've known some people. I think it's a good program. I wished my son would go in it, but he didn't want nothing to do with it. He didn't care nothing about plumbing.
Yeah.
But it's a good program, and I think we need to emphasize that more. The trades are hurting. It's getting better on our plumbing side, definitely. We're seeing a big difference in most of my crews in their 20s. I mean, and that's a big step from where it was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when we've been in business almost 20 years, and man, I was a kid at 30, and that was something. I mean, I remember sitting at continuing eds, and I was in a room full of guys in their 50s and 60s. And now I go to continuing ed, and I'm the old 50-year-old, and there's a whole bunch of 20-something-year-olds in there.
Same here.
And so I think that's a big change in direction that we're going.
Yeah.
Mike Rowe's done a good job of advertising that. I don't know if you watch much of his stuff. He's really pushed the trades being an option besides college.
Yeah.
And
I like stuff like that. A lot of people think you needed a degree to make good money. I mean, you can be a plumber, you can be an electrician, or HVAC, security guy.
Yep.
Making good money as long as you kind of set your mind to it.
Yeah, and follow the right steps.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot of people, they want to cheat steps.
Yep.
They don't figure it out. So tell me, we have a segment called Leak Lounge, and it's generally about the worst job that you, or not worst job, but a job where it went wrong, or something exciting happened in it. You got one then?
Well, so I was doing a commercial job in Dallas, and I went in to, it's industrial where they make CBD gummies there. One of my guys was like, "Hey, do you know how much that is?" I'm like,
"No,
I don't want to know. I want to do the job we're here to do."
Don't look there. Keep looking on that.
Yeah. Well, so we did that job. Come to find out, another electrician had been there before us. tied into the main tap, which is, big voltage, and didn't torque it down.
Ooh.
Well, for electrical, if you don't torque stuff down, it's just like basically setting a fuse.
Yep.
Or like lighting a dynamite stick
Just
on
their
fire,
hearts.
and it's going to eventually blow up on you. Well, it did. So we had to go there early morning, get it fixed, get it inspected, got his power back on. Supposed to do the other building. This was, I'm talking big deal, like changing out all the gear and doing a lot of work. We did one job in there, and then we found out by coming back a couple weeks later that he had gotten another electrician to go in there and do work under my permit.
Wow.
So that pretty much canceled that one.
Yep.
So that was, I guess, end all.
I like those ones that call you and go, I did all the work. Can you come just look at it and pull a permit for me?
Yeah,
No.
I usually steer those to somebody else.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, you couldn't afford
Yeah.
for me to do that. I
Yeah.
promise you, you'd been cheaper hiring me.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I have others, but I could go on and on. But
Yeah.
that was.
So back to the youth of the trades. Where do you see the trades heading with the PEs and all? I mean, what we've noticed is there's a big trend right now in the plumbing side with the private equity buying up all these small shops, and the seems to be a lot more smaller companies starting back up. Have you noticed that in the
Yeah.
electrical side?
Yeah, I have. The thing that concerns me, and I don't know if it's the same with plumbing, I'm sure it is I don't like when a master puts his name on another guy's that's a journeyman, and they're pulling jobs when clearly the state of Texas does not allow you to do that.
Yep.
That just drives me
Yeah.
crazy. 'Cause
They-
I worked hard for my master,
Yeah.
my company, so.
And well, that goes back to the private equities. That's what they're doing. Is they go out and they hire a master plumber in our situation, and half the time he's not even in the office. They're just paying him 150, 200,000 a year to use his license,
Yeah.
and running the company the way they want to run.
Yeah. I guess to answer your question, if you see something, say something. I'm that type of guy. If I see something that I know is not right, I definitely bring it up. That's all I can do.
My problem with it is most homeowners don't realize what they see because these private equities are the ones spending all the money on advertising, and they don't realize what's going on and what the value of that number.
Yeah.
And that number is it can be removed off the truck and replaced overnight,
True.
and it is often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's one of my problems with the whole. And then you got these private equities sinking a ton of money in advertising, more than me and you can ever dream of spending.
Yeah.
And making a phone ring that way.
Yeah. To answer your question, I don't like them.
No.
So.
I've seen a lot of small companies. Are you even smaller than us?
Yeah.
Startup companies.
Yeah. I've seen them. I just don't know. I've researched some of them, and that's what I'm finding on my side. Like that another master that
Is over it.
he's not even in the area.
Yeah.
Signing for this journeyman, and it's not right.
No.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, if they call my company or your company, they can talk to us if there's an issue.
oh, for sure. But the other guy,
You're not going to talk to that guy.
Not unless you're deep in an inspection, and the inspector says, "No, I want to see that
Yeah.
master on record
Yeah.
here." Maybe you might get him in there.
Yeah, but you're not going to call and complain to him.
Nah, not at all.
And so.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, you got any questions for us? Well, here in the middle of this heated discussion about private equities and young companies.
I got a question for both of y'all. What's one tool you can't live without in both of y'all's industry?
Mine would be a ProPress. I mean, I could live without it, but what has changed the world? I don't know how if I can do without it.
I'm gonna go wild on this one and say eyes.
Eyes, there you go. Better
It's
than
hard to do it. I'm just saying. You know.
You
have
don't,
one
you don't
per-
have a physical tool, Dennis? You don't have anything that like if you showed up to a job and you're like, man, I forgot that thing
Don't think
today.
they can do much without a screwdriver.
Yeah.
Screwdriver and lineman pliers would all.
I mean,
electrician.
you can't do the old, touch test. You have to have a meter at least. So I would say a digital meter would be good to have. If you don't have it, you're going to be kind of expecting that little jolt.
Every electrician I've ever seen use lineman pliers for cutting wire, nailing in staples, bending
Yeah.
wire.
Yeah.
Y'all got one tool and y'all do everything.
Yeah. I mean, that is true. Yeah. But Jap Rep is your Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
All right. What else you got for us, Brad?
What's one misconception plumbers have about electricians and electricians have about plumbers?
I'll go first. Sparkies they don't clean up their mess.
This is true. There's I think Milwaukee makes a tool. It's called a broom.
Yeah.
And we don't ever buy one.
You see one, huh?
I try to stay on my guys about cleaning, but yeah, I saw, and this is everybody, and this is, a guy bent over and he said the way to cover the crack.
Yeah.
He had a lady on the back that showed like the cleavage.
Cleavage.
Yeah, that was.
No.
That's all. That's an old one now. So.
All right, anything else, Brad?
If you could trade jobs with one another for a day, what's one thing that you would want to learn about the other's industry?
I want to learn how to size breakers. That's been my biggest thing, is because it's totally different than plumbing. Because I've had this discussion with other electricians. I'm like, well, I don't think I can do that. And they're like, well, you got to quit thinking like a plumber. It's not like that. You can have more than 200 amps of breakers in there. And I'm like, well, I can't do that with gas or water. What do you mean I can have more than?
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it may be, I guess it'd be along the same realm, size of pipe.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the, when you're trained on electrical, they give you a plumbing fitting to show how much resistance or how much flow you have. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if we answered each other's questions.
No, y'all, that was perfect. Dennis, I have one for you specifically because we've talked about this on our other podcast. But how do you build trust with customers when they might not understand the exact work that you're doing? Like, how do you build the trust of a customer who is maybe on the fence about something or is struggling to understand what kind of work you want to do?
We took care of a guy like this the other day. He had a company come in, tell him he needs to put a new panel in just because he didn't have space in his panel. What's for EV charger? Well, the only option if you want to do it the way they're saying is you'd have to move up to a 320 amp service and this and that, and you're talking, tens of thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. And where it could just as easy be what we did, just kind of combine two breakers or two circuits into one tandem and then put a 2-pole there.
Yeah.
It's all permitted. It's all checked by the city.
Yeah.
And that's...
I think it goes to a lack of, I think it goes to lack of knowledge. It could be two things. And both things are a severe problem in the trades right now. First thing it could be is lack of knowledge from the previous estimate. He didn't know. He didn't understand. Mm-hmm. And so he's doing what he was told by somebody else needs to be done. Or the second thing is upselling has become, or fear selling, I guess, more than upselling. I don't have a problem with upselling. I don't have a problem with giving options and making things better.
Yeah.
And if he gave that option as we can do this, we can, put a bigger panel in, more service, or we can do this, what you did, then that's an option. But that's not what most companies are doing nowadays. Most companies are telling you this is what you need to do, and this is why, and it's not all the time 100% accurate.
Yeah, that's true. The way I put it across to him and talked to him about is I did it this way. Well, this will generate later on that he wants to put in a generator.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do because, you build that trust and then he's going to be a return customer, which is something
I'd rather have return customers than $100 Google lead all day long.
Exactly. So,
and that's what we're trying to teach our guys more and more is look, spend a little more time and build a relationship. Make that your customer. Make that your, they want to use Stinson Plumbing all the time and go from there.
Yeah.
Because loyalty, when I grew up in a construction family, and there was loyalty to the company. And that loyalty is not there anymore, in my opinion. Not like it used to be.
Yeah.
You still get customers that will be loyal to you, and I have my loyal customers.
Yeah.
But 90% of those that call you for the first time, they've used more than one electrician in their past.
Oh, yeah. And you can see it. You can probably see it in the plumbing too, but I can see it.
And I think I think the 2020s, since the COVID, we got so busy. Everybody got so busy from 2020 and on to now that people got used to not needing to build loyal base customers. Now that the economy's turned a little bit, I think is going to become a bigger deal because buying customers. One, there's not as many of them out there looking for services there used to be.
Yeah.
People's wallets are a little tighter. And two, there's a lot of options. And so if you go to Google, you can search for days under electricians and plumbers and just sitting there scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not out there doing a good service, and that's why we, use you and refer you, is because that's what you're looking for is partners that can do that.
Yeah.
We answer your question?
Yes, you did. Dennis, let's go back to what you started that question with is EV chargers. I'm sure that's like a big thing right now. Have you seen them in an influx? Is it continuing or is it kind of going in the downtrend or what's it looking like?
Well, so this morning, let's go back. Yesterday, we installed an EV charger. Today, I took one down, but he's not going to not use it. He's going to use it, but he's in California. So I gave him the option. I can install it for him, but it'd be quite expensive rather than using somebody out there. So, but yeah, he's going to use that one. And I recommended him to use this certain one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But do you see it that trend slowing down any, or is it still pretty hot?
It has slowed down a little bit, but there's still people out there. I probably get a call, 1 or 2 calls a week for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right, here's a fun one for both of you. So, would you rather work in a crawl space full of water in December, that's the plumbing side, or an attic in July?
Attic in July. I don't work in crawl spaces full of water.
Yeah,
because there's electricity down there too.
I would have to say I'd probably agree with Larry on that one. Water, I like swimming in water, but not doing electrical in water.
And the problem with most pier and beam homes that have crawl spaces, they ran the electricity down there too a lot of times.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it was in aluminum wiring or that old, what did they call it before?
Knob and tube.
Yeah.
Knob and tube, yeah. The last crawl space I worked in was over at Sabre and I think it was in Westlake. And man, I'm glad I was wearing a hard hat.
Nails everywhere?
I hit that one of the cross beams.
Yeah.
My head. If I wasn't wearing a hard hat, I'd probably still be down there. Yeah. So.
All right, we do a segment. It's called Toolbox Tip. So, the Toolbox Tip is a tip for homeowners to maybe save some money or do some preventative measures for their home.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a toolbox tip that maybe you could give out? Just something small, just something that, as far as preventative for homeowners.
Yeah, they can, I'd have to install it, but I put in a Sense. It's called a Sense device, and you can put it on your panel, your lines coming in, and it'll learn each circuit, and it'll tell you what it's pulling during the day or when you're using it. So it'll, I guess, kind of like a smart. They have those span panels that you're gonna spend $5,000 or $6,000 for the panel, or you can get one of these Sense device that's $300 or $400.
Yeah.
So tenth of the cost, but it does basically the same thing.
Will that tell you if there's a problem, or will it just basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because it'll regulate, say, what's going to your stove or your dryer, and then it'll see if there's an influx or decrease. Usually, it's going to be an influx. That means one of your phases or your heating element's about to go out.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So
What's the name of those?
Sense. The
Sense.
Sense
Okay.
device.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have a plumbing toolbox tip?
See, I wasn't planning on this. Well, I'll piggyback off that. So, and we've done a podcast about this. There's a mow and flow, which homeowners can install it, but most time plumbers do, and it'll actually tell you if you have a leak.
Mm-hmm.
And even like when I'm washing I was washing my boat. I have one on my house. I was washing my boat this weekend. If you go too long like running the water, it'll shut your water off and send you a notification on your phone.
Well,
And
that's
you
neat.
go turn it back on. It's a little aggravating.
Yeah.
Be in the middle of washing your boat.
Yeah, for sure.
All of a sudden you ain't got no water.
For sure.
But open the app, turn your water back on. Not a big deal. But it'll register all the way down. And Mow and Flow works with, they have a little leak detector that you can set like under sinks and by your water heater and all that. When you sync them all together, once it goes off, even like the slightest moisture, it'll go and turn your Mow and Flow off.
Gotcha.
So.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
This has come up in BNI. Actually, Ed was going to ask Connor, which is not here with us right now.
Yeah.
But he was wondering on your tankless water heaters,
Mm-hmm.
do you have to flush them?
Yes.
Okay.
Every water heater, tankless or tank top, is recommended it's a way to get out of a warranty if they want to, is be flushed annually.
Gotcha. Okay.
And a lot of your tankless are smart enough, computer wise inside there, they can tell when they've been flushed or not.
So it'll give you a warning or something like
No,
that?
it won't give you a warning, but it can tell if it's been, like if you go through and you punch the code and you know how to really get into it and read the codes that it has inside there. Not all of them, but a lot of models can tell how many times it's been flushed.
Oh, okay.
And so if you call to get warranty, like if you're having a problem with your tankless and you call to get warranty and they ask you to go through the screen and start pushing buttons, that's generally what they're looking for,
Oh, okay.
is to see if it's ever been serviced.
Gotcha.
Because with tankless, there's more than just flushing. Especially the newer ones.
Mm-hmm.
There's filters and stuff for the inlet air, and there's filters on the water and stuff like that you're supposed to clean.
Clean or
Clean
do
when
they
you
need to be
flush
changed out?
No, you just clean them.
Oh, okay.
You get all the debris out of them, like on fresh air, if like any bugs. So what we had the problem with the older units, bugs and stuff would get through the vent when it wasn't running and get down inside the unit and stop the fan.
Because it's warm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so they started putting filters where they couldn't get through there.
Gotcha.
But then it restricts the airflow, and so you have to go in there and clean them.
Cool. All right.
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
You got any other questions you want from me?
That's the only one I had in my head.
Anything about business or anything like that you want to talk about?
No, nothing pops up right at this moment. You know me. If I have a question, I'll text you.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you coming out and joining us today.
Thanks for letting me come over and check it out.
And don't forget to like this one.
Oh, yeah, for
You
sure.
gotta like this one.
Yeah.
All right, thank y'all for joining us on Unclogged Conversations, powered by Stinson Plumbing. Don't forget to comment, like, and share, and ring the bell.